we played Stereotype Guess Who. Have you ever played that?
Is that where you just like make up?
You're just like, oh, I can tell you she has stepchildren, but she doesn't often associate with them.
I literally just, me and my sister, we've been playing like that for years, but we get dark with it. We're like, does your person like rape and pillage? And we're like, it's Alfred. Yeah.
Do they have a van that they keep with like a big tarp over it?
Yes.
And then they drive it out when everyone's asleep?
Yes. That's for sure Alfred again. Yeah. It's insane. It's always Alfred.
So I kind of told you already what you're drinking. So we're drinking peppermint cream tea, which is by Bird and Blend, a wonderful tea brand that we drink a lot on the podcast. It's an oolong tea. How much do you know about tea?
The oolong threw me off. I don't know what the fuck oolong even is. I know tea's hot and in a cup.
Yeah,
usually.
Well, honestly, that's all you need to know. The big thing that drives me crazy is people they're like, oh, you do a tea podcast? Like, yeah, they go, oh, so it's like really, you got to be really pretentious. I'm like, no.
I just
hot drink in a cup.
I
say the same thing. Like, this is, to give you a teeny bit of background, all the major teas that you've heard of, black tea, white tea, green tea, all that stuff, all come from the same plant. The only thing that makes this different comes from the same plant. It's a semi-oxidized tea. So it's exposed to a lot of oxidation and sun in a withering process. That's what it makes it oolong. Yeah. You don't care, do you?
Not really.
You don't have to.
I'm sorry.
No, listen, I don't really.
That offends you.
Oh my God, not at all.
Not a big tea. I mean, I barely drink tea when I'm sick. Is the only time. I also feel like I should mention to anybody who's watching this that I look and sound like shit because I'm wildly hungover. I need to explain how hungover I am right now.
I'll say two things. One, I don't think either. I don't think you sound or look like shit.
I feel unwell right now.
The other thing I will say is I remember the first time I saw you perform. I don't remember what show it was, but I know it was the first time I saw you. And I had been, I'm trying to remember who it was who told me about you, but we had mutual friends and whatever. And I saw you and I heard your voice. And I always was like, oh, I think I have a cool voice, whatever. And I heard your voice, I was like, damn it, I've been outdone.
You think you have a cool voice? No offense.
No, oh my, I mean like good for like
no.
Voiceover.
Oh yes. Oh, I see what you mean. I thought you meant like you have like cool. I think I sound like I've been smoking cigarettes since I came out of the womb. I don't think.
Love your voice. You don't like it?
I do. It's fine now, but and especially right now, it's a bit more because of the hangover.
Drinker's baritone. Yeah.
I wasn't drinking for a bit. I did the whole 30, and then I went off that, and here we are.
I did. Did you drink a lot during the pandemic?
Yeah. Well, I was home with my parents, and It turns out when you live with mommy and daddy at 36 years old, you drink a lot of wine.
It was wine that you went for.
Me and my mother would drink 2 bottles minimum a night.
I did the opposite. So I didn't actually drink. I drank maybe 5 times during the entire pandemic.
Oh my God.
But I ate ice cream every single night. Oh, and the last thing I'll say about the tea, sorry for the steepers at home. It steeps at 195 for 3 minutes. So take that
Very
as
specific.
You will. I want to say, I don't know if this was your podcast or if you were filming sketches, but I remember once, because I genuinely, not to butter your bread, but like I adore your stuff. I think it's all great.
Butter my bread. I've never heard that saying.
but like I'm genuinely like I always enjoy the stuff you put out, so I always check it out. There was one, I don't know if it was your podcast or a sketch, where I'm like watching it and I don't know what it was about it, but I'm like, is this person famous? Like I don't really know what it is, and it was like I think it's like a famous porn star.
Yes, was it Samantha Mack or Lisa Ann?
So I didn't know there were 2.
I'm weirdly friends with 2 porn stars.
No. I don't think it's weird at all. But what was so funny is, I'm watching this and I'm like sitting there and I go, should I know this person? Because it seemed like they were like a big deal.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't know these people. And then I was like, oh, maybe they're like a comedian. I don't know. And then I like Googled them, which I shouldn't have done.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I should have gone to incognito. Should have moved this over.
Yeah.
Do you often like bring people who are not comedians into sketches and comedy and stuff?
No, it was Samantha Mack. Okay. Yes, it was Samantha Mack for sure. Samantha Mack. No, we weirdly met on a podcast actually.
You're kidding.
She's Canadian as well. So we started talking and then we got friendly and then she's like, we should hang out. And I was like, everyone says in LA you should hang out. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then she literally would text me and then I'm like, I had these ideas for the videos where it was like turning the porn tropes, whatever, on like just turn them on whatever it is.
I think you did like something with a mustache.
Yeah, so I did. The whole joke was it was like a pizza guy going to the porn star's house, being like, "Oh, did you order pizza?" And then she's like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, I got the wrong address and whatever." And that it was just so stupid. So
think that's
dumb.
funny.
But she also, it was so funny because she got so into them. Like, it's so weird filming with people who aren't comedians.
Yeah.
Because she literally came down butt naked and was like, put your tea down next time.
What she had told me.
Butt
Have me put
naked.
the cup down. Yeah.
Holding two different like lingerie. She's like, should I wear the pink or the teal? And I'm like, I don't care. Put something on. Like, this is not going to change anything for me right now.
We don't have like a color scheme we're working with. Just wear one of them.
She, we became friends because she looked at my vagina.
What happened?
That reaction. The podcast we did, she was discussing how she got full surgery down there on her bits.
Is she okay?
No, she got stabbed. It's really fucked up. So
She got stabbed?
She got stabbed years ago in Canada. She's fine. So they redid it all out here, like, the whole thing. And I was like, I feel like I was making jokes. I feel like I need it. And she's like, let me look. And I was like, like this, sitting in the room. And I was wearing a dress randomly that day. And I just lifted up my dress. And then she just looked at it for a long time. Like, it wasn't like a quick peek. It was
Were
a
you nervous?
stare.
That would have made me so nervous.
I was very weirded out.
Yeah.
Very bad lighting, middle of the day.
The
like,
lighting was
and I'm
what
like
worried you?
sitting too. So I was like sucking in. I felt it was very strange. Anyways. Yeah, she said it wasn't bad, and I have a joke about it now, being like, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. I'm like, it's not bad. I'm like, it's not good, but it's not bad. Like,
I just love that, like, because she's probably, I don't want to assume, but she's probably seen a fair number of vaginas in her time.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's coming in there and going, hey, not bad, that's
why.
great.
She told me she'd eat me out too.
That's
I always,
nice.
I know I always complain about like men ghosting me and stuff. She's like, I'll eat your pussy if you want. I'm like, well, that's okay, but thank you.
You're like, I'm not. The other thing is she's probably, I would be nervous because I'm like, because this is now, it's like professional. So it's like, what if I don't love this? What does that mean?
Yeah.
You know?
It's too much pressure. And it's also like we're friends now. It's like, I'm not going to have my friend just eat me out. Like, it seems
Yeah, I
weird.
don't know that I would.
It seems a little strange.
To me, it's the very same thing. And this is maybe a weird analogy, but it'd be the same thing. Like, I have a friend who's a chef. I'm never sitting there being like, can you cook for me?
No.
Because that's what you do professionally. I'm not going to make you
But that's
do
what
that
people
for me.
say, do that to us too. Tell me a joke. So many fucking guys on Tinder. The worst I get is, you think you're funny.
Wait, people say that
They
to
go,
you?
so you think you're funny? I go, I most certainly am. It's my full-time job.
I
I'm
know
a full-time comedian.
You're proven funny. It's not a think. It's an objective.
It's my job. I don't tell you. I own a golden retriever. I just toss it in like it's something. I have a golden retriever.
I was gonna say, I don't know that it plays into that, but I do love dogs. you're like, listen, I'm funny, and also
Look, my dog cost me in total, it's about 10 grand, and I don't love it.
the purchase or the maintenance. I'm not trying to make her sound or him sound like a car.
No, she's perfect. We
What
know
is her
she's
name, by the way?
Susan.
Susan, love it.
Yeah, her name's Susan. She golden retrievers are expensive to purchase.
Okay.
So she was $3,500. And everyone in Los Angeles gets very upset with me because they wanted you to adopt, and I'm like, the next dog I'm going to adopt, she's going to get a buddy, and probably the next year.
That face wasn't judgment. It was the price.
No, the price is crazy, but the problem is it gets worse. Susan has a bunch of shit wrong with her.
No.
So she's fine, but she's allergic to everything. So she's on a specific hypoallergenic diet and treats only. So her food is like $100 a month. She has to get an allergy shot once a month.
I don't think I spend $100 a month on food.
It's crazy.
Oh my Lord.
No, it's nuts. Yeah,
I do love that you called her Susan. It sounds like she's your roommate.
Have you ever did you ever play the game Guess Who growing up?
Are you kidding?
Susan, the white hair, same color as my dog.
Can I tell you what we used to do when I got older though? We played Stereotype Guess Who. Have you ever played that?
Is that where you just like make up?
You're just like, I can tell you she has stepchildren, but she doesn't often associate with them.
I literally just posted a video like that on my Instagram the other day. Literally, me and my sister, we've been playing like that for years, but we get dark with it. We're like, does your person like rape and pillage? And we're like, it's Alfred. Yeah.
Do they have a van that they keep with like a big tarp over it?
Yes.
And then they drive it out when everyone's asleep?
Yes. That's for sure Alfred again. Yeah. It's always Alfred.
We used to do that. I think we started in like high school. We used to do that, and we made it into a drinking game.
It's so fun.
It was so good. I cannot believe that's why you named her Susan.
I think that's exactly my name. Because the only game we had at our fucking cottage growing up for years was fucking Guess Who, and like we lost all the cards immediately, so we have to like play it a different way.
All you had was Guess Who?
We had Guess Who, and then we had what is the first Nintendo, but just the one game. The regular Super Mario, and then Q*bert. Do you know Q*bert?
No, I know it, but
that's the only two games we had, and we were bad at both of them. You'd think you'd get good at one.
Was it just, so you just have this one sibling? Is a sister?
Yes. Yeah. I actually kind of want to I told her that she's not on board. I want to get a little Q*bert tattoo.
Are you kidding?
I think I want one.
Oh, you think you should? I want to, because when I saw you walk in, I love with the tattoo that you have on your forearm.
Oh yeah, I got that drunk with my sister last time she was here.
I got to tell you, drunk or not, like I actually thought it was
very. It's fine. It's fine. It's simple. Whatever.
But I also like the detail of it. I think it's very pretty.
It's a cute little, whatever.
And I know you have one over here. How many do you have total?
12.
12.
Yeah, they're all hidden. I have them all. My feet are heavily tattooed. I got a giant windmill in my back that we don't really understand why half of them I have.
I love you say we. Is it like the consensus of people? We don't.
Yeah, everybody who sees it is like, why do you have a giant windmill in your back? And I'm like, look, at the
Why
time,
not though?
I wanted to move to Amsterdam years ago, and it didn't happen. And
You could have been in Boom Chicago.
That's what I went and auditioned for.
Oh, you're kidding.
I'm dead serious. I went out. I had like a big breakup when I was 24 years old, and I was like, I'm getting out of Canada. So then I went to Amsterdam to audition for it. And I got there, and they're like, everyone's sick. We got to cancel the auditions. You got to come back next week. I'm like, I flew in for this. You're not canceling it. So I'd say the worst audition of my entire life. It was just me and one guy came in, just like a two-handed improv with this guy. And I didn't realize it was all games.
Is it all short form?
It's all like singing and like audience games and stuff. And I was like, I used to do long form. Yeah. That's why I started it in. So I was like, I thought it was like more scene work. Absolutely not. Yeah, that was and then I ended up eating a bunch of French fries. I stayed in the red light district alone. And I just literally walked around alone eating this cone fries. That was a weird night. Yeah.
This is funny. I like so rarely tell this story, but like you're one of the only people who will understand this. I had a weird romantic situation where I was not feeling great about things, and I also signed up to audition for Boom Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah. So
very specific.
So I had the audition. It was going to be, but it was going to be in Chicago. I was living in Chicago at the time. They were auditioning out of there, and I was doing a bunch of stuff at Second City and IO. So a bunch of the people who were working there were like, "Dude, it's just you got this."
Yeah.
I'm supposed to go. It's like 2 nights later, and I start having like a little bit of not a full-blown panic attack, but like a little bit of panic because I'm like, but what if I do get it? And then I start spiraling out of control. I'm like, oh my God, then I'd have to move there, and then I have to give up my whole life. And what if the person I'm supposed to marry is there in Chicago and I don't know? And then but now Second City is going really well and they like me there, but they're not going to remember me if I leave. And oh my God, what am I going to do? So I continue to freak out. My friend who, I don't know if you ever knew her name was Carly. She's like been all around the block, but Carly was like, yeah, I have my Boom audition. I think you have yours too, right? And I was like, yeah. She's like, yeah, well, I'll see you there. And I was like, totally. Up until about 45 minutes before, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go. And then I left my apartment. I've never told this story. I left my apartment. I walked into the red line stop. Okay. So the L, the subway in Chicago. I walk into the red line stop. I scan my ticket. I go. The train comes. I stand there and I cannot move. And the train doors open. I cannot move. The train doors close. I turn around. I walk back up. I go back up to my apartment. I turn my phone off. So if they call, if Carly texted anything, nothing, turned it off and had a beer and went to bed and never spoke about it again.
Oh my God. That's psychotic.
I know.
That's insane. I'll tell you what, I think you made the right choice.
I was here's the thing. I had these delusions of like, oh my God, I'm going to leave my life's going to pass me by if I go.
No.
Not that I would have gotten it. No. I'm telling you, I would not have gotten it.
Yeah. It's wild to think. I used to think I could get Second City in Toronto, and then I auditioned 2 years in a row, and both times chose very strange things to do. Like one time I massaged this girl. I came out hot as a pervert. And it was to the point where they were like, all right, that's the end of that scene. Like she was visibly upset. And they're like, yeah, let's call it a scene there. And I was like, I'm not getting this. Never got a call back. Wasn't even close.
Did you go through like the whole conservatory thing? Do all that?
No, I did a couple. I think I did my first improv class when I was 18 with Second City, or maybe younger. 16, I think I did took a teen class when I was in high school because I really liked it. Word. Yeah. And then I did. There's a thing called Impatient Theater Company. I did like classes with them in Toronto. Yeah, it was like a whatever Toronto thing. And then I did I was in a sketch, an improv troupe called The Dumb Cunts with a K.
Obviously.
Yeah.
No doubt.
We had to change the name because people didn't want to put us on anything. So we were Lady Stash.
Oh.
And then Lady Stash turned into just two of us. And then, me and my sketch partner still do stuff.
Well, it's really interesting. Like there are some stand-ups who have a vibe of, I guess for lack of a better term, bring stage presence that other stand-ups don't. I think you are a great example of someone who brings stage presence. We were talking earlier off mic about Simon Gibson, another person who brings really good stage presence. No surprise to hear both of you came from other backgrounds like that. How did you make the transition over?
Money. No, I
Good. All right, great.
Yeah, I went to a college 2-year program for comedy and writing in Toronto. There's a comedy and writing program. And then there you do stand up, sketch, everything in that. And I thought I wanted to be like just sketch, and then I did a little bit of stand up then, and then I was kind of always like dipping my toes in doing shows here and there, but way more improv stuff. And then I realized, oh, improv pays no money, and I don't know if it ever will. And then I was like, the improv scene, it's just they're too nice too. Is that now I'm just like used to like stand ups. Like if you have a bad set, no one's gonna be like like with improv, you could bomb your dick off and go, oh my god, that one scene when you came in and you said, doctor, yes please, that was so funny. It's like it wasn't. I just ate shit. I ate shit on stage
100%.
for fucking 25 minutes, and you're still saying I'm funny. Like it's not. And then like yeah, it's very hard to gauge if you are funny with improv. That's why there's so much bad improv out there, because people are still laughing at it for no reason. Like I don't know.
The tough thing also is I remember I once got this note and I was baffled by it. Someone said, they were like, you third eye improvise. And I go, oh, cool. What does that mean? And she goes, it's clear that you know what the scene's missing and then you do it to cover it. She's like, if it's missing information, if it's missing emotional stuff, you bring that to the scene. I go, how come this sounds like criticism?
Yes.
And she goes, because I as an experienced person, I know you're doing that. It makes me feel like you're not in the moment. And I go, I'm sorry. So I'm doing the things the scene is missing, but I'm not in the moment enough. She goes, yeah, and I find it a little troubling. And I was like, I can't. The other tough thing about improv is also, it's like, and I say this as someone who used to do it. God, a bad improv show. I don't think there's anything worse in the world.
There's nothing. I'm going to say bad improv is, it should be a form of torture.
It is. It already is.
It really is. And most like just the amount I've seen and like, and especially if they're still on stage having fun, it's like, read the room.
Yeah. No one is enjoying this.
You are bad. This is bad. I did a Zoom show over the pandemic, and I wish I knew this guy's name. I should have written it down. He was doing solo improv from his house.
No.
Gets worse.
Immediately no.
Immediately no. He goes, we're just talking to comics before the show, and he goes, I actually loves it. I love Zoom. He's like, I like Zoom better than live shows. And I literally want to be like, because you're a fucking loser. Who the fuck likes, are you crazy? You like doing solo, it's because you're shit. It's because you're bad. You're a bad person. You're a bad comedian.
Watch him?
I absolutely left right after my set. I was like, I muted it. I'm like, I can't be. I hate this guy.
No. It was so funny. So I mean, I don't know what your experience was like, but I know during the pandemic, someone reached out to me. I don't remember who it was, but someone reached out to me. It was probably like 2 months of the pandemic. And this is when Zoom shows were just starting. And they said, oh, do you want to do a Zoom show? I was like, oh, no, definitely not. And they're like, why not? I was like, oh, I don't know about everyone else, but like, I'm incredibly sad.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I was sad. So anytime someone's like, do you want to do Zoom shows? I was like, I think I would, that would make me sadder than I am right now.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, you didn't miss much.
Yeah.
You missed.
I said yes to corporate shows. I did corporate Zoom shows,
yes.
but I didn't do, because those are paying me enough to not be sad.
Oh yeah. The money, it was, at one point though, I was making more money doing Zoom shows than I was live shows. I was like, this is crazy.
I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like the idea of that.
No, I don't like it at all.
I can't. You were doing them from your parents' house.
I did parents' house. Oh yeah, and it was a nightmare because they'd be like, my dad would come and be like, keep it down. And my dad's head peeking in the background. I'm like, I need to get out of here.
Had they already heard all your stand up?
Oh yeah.
Because I know that you've done jokes about, I think I've heard more jokes about your dad than your mom, but.
Yeah, a lot more jokes than my dad.
Yeah, but I've heard you do jokes about them, but they've heard them all. So this was nothing new to them.
My dad loves it. My dad is, it's weird doing gross jokes and thinking your parents are going to be weirded out. I think at first my mom was like embarrassed, and because my mom, we'll get to this part, but this is what what I'm teaching you. My mom is a Highland dancing teacher, Scottish dancing with bagpipes. I'm not Scottish. It's a whole thing. I'm going to teach you the Highland fling. That's what you're going to get.
This, yeah.
You're so stoked about it.
Honestly, I'm really excited. We've gotten some weird ones, so this is going to be fun.
This is a good one. Yeah. So she was embarrassed that all her like dancing friends, I think, would like see her daughter and then like look me up and see it. I'm like, my big fucking clit. And it was like, you know what I mean? It's a lot. I get it. I'm a lot to take in. But then I started doing kind of well. And then my parents, like, they're very supportive. They've been supportive for a while.
Well, that's, when we were talking earlier off mic about how, and congratulations again. So all of our listeners can hear you got past the Comedy Store. That's super amazing. Mm-hmm. But for like someone like me, it's so easy to say. For me, it's so easy to say because I didn't see you at the beginning where I'm like, oh yeah, I could tell that you were great from the minute I saw you. But like I don't know if when you were beginning, you were like, oh, I'm trash. Were you bad at the jump? Because you had the improv and sketch experience. So I feel like that had to have given you a little confidence, kind of go in and think like I can handle it. Even if I'm bombing, I can get my way out of here.
Absolutely not. No,
really?
I was bad. I would talk so fast, a mile a minute. I'd make no sense at all. I would do all act outs. I used to do one joke. It was so bad where it was my impression of Keith Richards, where I would shove wig hair in my toes and then draw like a weird face on the bottom of my foot and then take it out and put it on a stool and just be like, Keith Richards. Of course that's not funny. Never got a laugh. Why would I do that? It was a nightmare bit to do. Full barefoot on the stage. It was so stupid. I think I was high one day. I thought that was funny. But like shit, like I would do stupid shit, like bad shit. And then it takes you a long time to like find your voice and.
Oh, for sure.
You know.
I was sure I had an incredible joke that I used to do about, and I still think there's something here. Listen, I'll go to the grave. Think there's something here, but I had a coworker who I did not know. We worked in the same office, and I did not know him. And I saw him in the kitchen. There's a kitchen in our office, and I said, "Hey, how's it going?" And he was like, "Good." And I was like, "Cool." And that was the entire conversation. And then I got to my desk. And he sent me an email. He said, "Hey, I just wanted to email you because I'm letting my friends in the office know that I'll be transitioning." And I was like, "We're not friends. I don't know this person."
I don't. You.
And I didn't know what to say, so I wrote back, "That's so cool." And yeah, because I was like, because I don't know this person.
Yeah.
So anyway, I saw him in the coffee in the micro kitchen later, getting coffee. And they just replaced the coffee machine with this one that also could do a latte. And so I look at it, I go, "Oh, that's so cool." And he looks at me and goes, "I guess everything is cool to you." And walked out.
God.
And so I like tried to like tell this joke on stage, and like no one laughed. And I tried it when I was first starting. I tried this a bunch of times, and like everyone, and then one person came up to me, they go, "It feels a little insensitive." And I was like, "Why? I don't say any bad words or anything." And they go, "You're making fun of someone else's transition." And I was like, no, but that's the thing. I'm making fun of me because I don't know what I was. And they were like, "It's really offensive." I was like, "Okay, so I suck at this. Like I'm very bad." It was a nightmare.
When did you start? How old are you when you started?
I was later. I was doing improv and sketch up until I was 25, 6. Proper stand up, not until I was probably 28.
Okay, well there you go. And now you're here.
Yeah, well, yeah. What a joy! What a joy it is to be here. Yeah, I was telling you earlier. Literally doing that show in San Diego where someone was just yelling at me, and I was like, "So this is what I signed up for then."
Yeah, it's. Oh yeah, someone asked me the other day if I still get hecklers. I'm like, of course. Hecklers are never going to go away.
No.
They think it's part of the show. They think they're helping the show. If you're listening to this and you're at a comedy show, don't fucking just chime in. This is not like, sometimes it's fun. I do say sometimes I do like and I'll get a good riff off something. Sure. I like doing I like having light crowd work, but like when they make it about them, they're drinking, like it's too much. The
biggest problem for me is if the person either has ill intentions or is too drunk to know what's happening.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. I mean, it's also, I hate when like the club doesn't do anything about people yelling like that. No. Like some clubs are like, the store is great. Like they are like,
well, you're out there.
Yeah,
in a heartbeat.
It's unless you're you're out. Might have a light stalker. Not a stalker, but somebody I matched with on Bumble that we started texting and I got freaked out. Very weird. Like, I don't know where I was like, "Kiss, come over now, kiss."
Wait, like when you say kiss, like an emoji?
Just would write the word kiss.
Oh,
like,
no,
it really grossed me out.
No,
and I was
I'm
like,
not. No.
So I blocked him. Then he found me on Instagram. And he's been commenting on a lot of stuff. So I had to block him from my stories. Okay. From the stories. But I didn't want to do it for the posts. Because I'm very easy to Google. So I was scared if I cut him off completely, he'll know. But I think I'm gonna have to show his pic to the store and be like, if this guy ever comes.
Are they good about that though? Like,
I think they would. Yes. Yeah. They'd be like, "You're not allowed in." Yeah.
I haven't had a stalker, but I feel like if I did, I would be terrified.
Yeah, this is not full stalker yet. It's strange.
Well, I think that's as good a time as any to jump into the first segment. How do you feel?
I think so. That sounds great.
Okay, so the first segment is called the Newly Friend Game. It's like the newlywed game, but we're friends. Mm-hmm, unless it's something I don't know. I don't know if we got married while I was sleeping. The way that this game works is I'm going to ask you a question. We are both going to write down. You're going to write down your answer. I'm going to guess if I can try what your answer is. I'm going to try and guess it. And then we'll do the question for me. Usually we have different questions. Today, we're going to both have the same question.
Okay.
But we're going to go for you first. Okay? So the question for you, write it down. Don't say it out loud. Okay. Who is your favorite Canadian comic? Now, the problem with this, for anyone that doesn't know this, because I think a lot of people know this, but for people that don't know this, Canada has had more impressive comics than than almost anywhere in the world.
Yes.
So
now that I'm really thinking of it, Maybe I should change it. No, I'm gonna keep my answer.
I'm going to circle what my actual answer is. I'm going to write down 2 because I think that you probably like both of these people. So I'm just curious.
Okay. Can I write
This-
down 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll only circle the one that you really want to make your answer. But I think that these are 2 that you're also going to potentially love. Okay. You ready to flip your
Okay.
board on 3?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, flip. Oh, okay. So I guessed Jim Carrey would
Yes,
be yours because
okay.
I feel like you must have loved Jim Carrey.
I did
growing
love
up.
Jim Carrey. Yeah,
You
I forgot
have that
about Jim
vibe.
Carrey. Yes,
and
yes,
then
yes.
I also wrote down as like 2 other people you might enjoy were Martin Short and
And
Catherine
Martin Short.
O'Hara.
Yeah, and there we go.
And you wrote Deb DiGiovanni, who, by the way, if you don't know, I'm looking right down the barrel. If you don't know her, she is an
She's the
absolute
funniest person in the world.
riot.
Yeah.
I will say this: the hardest thing about seeing her live is you don't get any time between to breathe. It's nonstop laughs.
She was the first live stand-up show I ever saw growing up. When I was in high school, my friends took me for my 17th birthday, and she was so fucking sweet and nice. And they're like, "It's her birthday," and she's like, "Wish me a birthday." And I talked to her after, and I'm like, "I think I want to do stand-up comedy." She's like, "Go ahead, do it, girl." She was so nice. She wasn't like, when people tell me they want to do comedy, I'm like, "Get the fuck out of my face." But she was like so nice.
I think she is. I've talked to her a few times. Truly one of the nicest people. But honestly, I've never seen her not kill.
No,
I'm
never
sure
once.
she may have bombed at some point, but I've never seen it.
Never one time. I've never seen it.
She's
No,
too good.
Yeah, she's so funny.
Okay, and the question for me is the same one. I'm gonna write this down. Can you guess who my favorite Canadian comedian is? Don't say it. Just write her down.
I'm trying to think. Your favorite Canadian comedian. Okay.
Okay, you ready? Flip your board in 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, that's another great
I
one.
was gonna write Phil Hartman. I forgot he was Canadian.
So Phil Hartman is one of my absolute favorites.
Damn
Just
it.
forget Canada of all time. Phil Hartman is.
Phil Hartman's the funniest man in the world.
I truly like. I go back and watch Phil Hartman SNL stuff. And
I
just
watch.
die.
He was so good in News Radio.
He was the best part of news radio.
He was, of course, him as well. Stephen Root as well.
Stephen Root is someone who literally, anytime he pops up in a movie or television show, I go, oh,
Yeah, literally. He's the first celebrity I saw here. I saw him at Whole Foods. Like, was at my
Did
buddy.
you say something?
No, I just followed him for a bit, but I didn't say anything. I was just gonna, I just
I
like,
love that. I followed him. But I do like Mike Myers.
yes.
You wrote Mike Myers, also amazing.
Mike Myers is a good guy. I mean,
I,
that's it. Mike Myers, is that it? Is that
That's the
segment?
whole first segment. How'd you
That's
feel?
quick. I
Yeah,
like
it's
a quick
and easy.
segment.
The reason I wrote Jim Carrey for you is because when I think about your style, he has
Yes.
the interesting ability when he doesn't, I don't know if he does stand up much anymore, but he had the interesting ability, like he could modulate his energy and he would leave spaces. You know, he wasn't just energy.
Modulate.
Yeah. So he
Never
would
heard
be
that
like
word
super loud, super crazy,
Yes,
and
yes.
then would let it pace out a little bit and then relax for a second and find
Yes.
a space where it's a little quieter and then go back into another thing. And I always found that, like, when I think about how you do stand up, it's very similar where you can dial in the energy
Yeah.
and pull back out of it.
Yeah, I think that's what took me. That when I first started, I was just energy, and I didn't know how to find those like pauses or like the tone changes. But I'm like, now that I do it too, you get a bigger laugh.
Hell yeah.
You like, because I like kind of want to do the thing that Deb did too with her, how it's like bang bang bang. Like I don't want to do like set up punchline, whatever joke. I want like everything I say to be funny,
Hers,
like every line.
it's hard to try and recreate someone like her style because that is, it's so dialed in.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I could never do her style, but I mean, just the idea of having 5 laughs in like a 1 minute, like a 1 minute joke is better than having that one big.
Oh, yeah. I was curious when you were talking about your sister. Is your sister also funny?
Funniest person I know.
Really?
I think my sister is the funniest person out of all of the comedians. I honestly, to God, think she's hilarious.
Really?
She kills so hard.
Is she
around
older or
her.
younger?
Younger, 3 years younger. She's funny as hell. Never want to do comedy. I tried to get her to do sketches with me for years.
She won't do it.
No,
What
never.
does she do?
She works for the City of Toronto.
Cedar, Toronto?
City of Toronto.
Oh, City of
Yeah,
Toronto.
Yeah, yeah.
So she doesn't even do anything related
Not
to
even
entertainment.
close. No, not even close. She does nothing, not even remotely related, but I bring her Just for Laughs with me every year. Everyone loves her. She got asked by people from Levity last year to rep her. Like, who's that girl we want to rep her? I'm like, that's my sister. She's not a comedian. Like, she was killing so hard.
Just in conversation.
Just in conversation. She's just witty and she's likable and yeah. Mm-hmm. It's actually wildly annoying. It makes me furious.
But you're already doing really well. It's
No,
not like you have
I'm
to
doing
compete with her.
fine. Yes. But it's still like, it's just like, you fucking bitch. You
Yeah,
know what I
you're
mean?
like, hey, you do this without even trying.
Yeah, literally.
Have you ever, like, I'm sure you have, brought her out to LA and been like, just come to some shows and see maybe you might want to try
No,
this?
she never. She has zero interest in ever doing it.
What does she do for the city?
She oversees all like the ice rinks in the winter, and then she oversees all the camps in the summer.
Oh my gosh. I was someone who went to camp growing up. So I have a very soft spot for camp.
Okay.
Yes,
I used to,
Jews go to camp.
Yes.
Yeah.
I used to be a camp counselor.
Were you really?
Skateboarding camp in Toronto.
Sorry, what happened there? Skateboarding
camp. Yeah.
You were a skateboarder.
I wasn't so much the skateboarder as I was the person that just did the games and the lunches with the kids. It was me and two guys that were skateboarders. They taught them to skateboard. I had a skateboard. The kids liked to make fun of me and make me do things that I didn't want to do, like go down the fucking.
No,
I could never do that. I couldn't do it. No, the going like dropping in. What's it called?
Yeah, that's vert skating. Yeah.
No, I couldn't. There's a couple girls. We would just kind of go practice our ollies on the fence.
I can't stand on one.
No, I have a longboard. I keep telling myself I'm going to come down here and go for a long stroll.
And you can park in our parking spot.
I used to use a longboard in Toronto as my that's how I got around. My transportation.
So you are actually able to do that decently well.
I'm good at longboarding. Yes.
Okay.
I've got balance. I think it's from the dancing. The dancing that. Is it time for segment 2?
You know what?
This is
Screw it.
in.
Let's go to segment 2. Segment 2. I love this. Are you hosting? You're hosting the podcast.
I'm hosting the podcast.
You're great. Segment 2, it's called Teach Me Something. People say I have a lot to learn. I use this segment for that. You can teach us anything. Could take 10 seconds, could take 10 minutes.
All right. Well, we gotta stand up.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay. So Highland dancing is. Have you ever seen Highland dancing?
Is it like, I know like Irish, like river dance.
Okay, so how do I explain? So it's all about hopping and jumping and turn. So river dancing is more turned in. Highland dancing is all turned out. So that's your feet are.
Naturally I have turnout issues.
Then this is great. Okay,
yeah.
So I'm going to teach you the first step of the Highland fling.
This is going to be the greatest thing I've ever done. Okay. I'm
So-
nervous I'm going to screw this up, but go ahead.
No, the mic has to go down.
Okay, mic's down. Sorry.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
It's already.
So you got to start hands in the fist on your hips.
Okay.
So it's okay. I haven't done it before one time.
This is the best
part
of my year.
Okay, so we're gonna do 2 arm movements.
Okay.
For this way and then this way. So
Hold
the
on,
finger,
show me the
so middle finger on that. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. And then arm up.
Okay.
And then that stays there. That's the one. So when we're doing this leg, that's arms up, and when we do the other leg, the other arms up.
When you say do this leg, do I like quick pick it up?
You're gonna see. Okay, so now you're gonna go. You're gonna. Okay. You're gonna hop and point to the side. Hop. Put your foot to the back of your leg. Hop to the front.
Oh boy. Okay.
Hop to the back.
Okay.
And then switch feet.
Okay. Wait. Okay.
And then arms.
Hold on.
Okay.
Get out.
So you're gonna go hop, point, hop back, hop front, hop back, and then switch to the other side.
Oh
and
no.
Then switch. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
wait. And then
hop point,
it's
hop back, front, hop back, and then the side, hop point. Your point. That's the point. Yes. Point. Hop back. Hop front. Hop back. And now you're gonna do it turning.
What?
Yes. And then you go hop point and turn.
I can do this.
Okay.
So okay. Well, should I do this?
Yes.
Okay. Go.
So okay. Hop point. Back. Front. Back. Hop 2. Back. You're kind of close. You do it 1, 2, 3, and then you turn. So this side. Yeah. Okay.
So here we go.
Yes.
All right.
So a point, back, switch. Yes, point, back, front, back. Other side, no, one more on this side, then you're turning. So a point, back, front, back, and now turn. So with the other leg, So, yeah. Yes, you pretty much did it. Yeah, then you turn. Okay, yeah, there it is. You did it. You're pretty good, actually.
I'm sweating.
It's honestly a crazy workout.
Oh my god, this is my favorite. This is hands down my favorite segment.
That's it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I did that from the age of 3 to 18 years old.
I'm seriously sweating.
No, I'm sweating it's the best workout in the world.
Can I tell you something? I kind of liked it. Is that weird?
Did you?
I kind of liked it. Is that
Men do it. I mean, there's a lot. My mom has some male dancers right now that are really good.
The reason I liked it is because I like dancing generally, so it's kind of like a thing for me.
Okay.
But like it gave me something I could kind of like. I feel like I could get it right. Sometimes when you're doing dancing,
Yes.
there's nothing to get right or wrong.
And and you get better at it, and like yeah.
I feel like I get it right, and I also feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, once you actually get it, you can throw a little flair in.
No, there's no flair.
There's no flair.
It's very regimented in how it is, but like you can get better at it. Yeah, you actually were pretty good.
Some more tea. Thank you.
You were pretty good
sweet.
for a guy too.
You're a great teacher. Sorry, you were saying. How long did you do? By the way, do you want?
I'll touch more tea. Yes, I started when I was 3 years old. So my mom is a teacher. So I started when I was 3 and I quit when I was 18.
Why did you quit?
I wasn't very good.
Well, you just taught me. You seem good.
No. Like my mom. So this is strange. My mom has a dancer who won there's a Highland Dancing World Championship. She won it, I think, 10 times consecutively. No one's ever done that. She's like, I think she's in the Guinness Book of Records. Like,
Wait, this was your mom's
my
student?
mom's student. Yeah. So my mom everyone knows my mom in Highland Dancing. So she's like, brags. She thinks whatever. So everyone like knows my mom. So having a teacher who has one of the best students, and then me and my sister who are just like, I always joke, I have jokes about that I'm built like my dad, but I am. I'm built like my Bulgarian father. Like I was never meant to dance. I have like 9.5 feet. These are not dancers' feet. I don't have like an arch. I had like no energy. I couldn't
I
jump.
have flat feet too. Yeah, I feel
It's not good. You can't have flat feet. You got to be bouncing around. You got to have a good arch. You got to be, you're pointed all the time. You're turned out. Like,
yeah, when you said the pointing, I didn't realize at first it's actually pointed toe.
It's a pointed toe.
How? I mean, is your mom like? I know a lot of. Well, I don't know what Highland dance is like, but I know like a lot of traditional like ballet. It's like you're super long and really tall, and like all the thing with the pointing and the arches. Is that what your mom looks like?
No, she was pretty good, a good dancer, but like no, me and my sister, we just had no choice. We just had to get into it, and we both are built like a fucking ox. So it's like it's not broad back. I'm like a Bulgarian man up there. I'm like, why am I shouldn't be dancing. It's a lot. It was like crazy. So people always compliment my legs. That's my one thing. Everyone's like, oh my God, your legs. I'm like, it's literally from doing that for so many years.
I feel like there was, I don't remember what, you did some comedy thing. I really don't remember. I probably should have done more research before you came over, but you did something where you wore a dress and on stage, and I think you made a comment about how you had great legs.
Because everyone, I'm not just like I have great legs. People are always like, "What the hell?" Like mostly women, because they're like muscular. They're like, I have like cellulite or anything in my legs because I'm telling you right now, it has been from dancing my whole life.
Now, the one thing that you said that I actually didn't get to dig into was you said that it's Scottish.
Yes, so it's.
But your mom's not.
No
Scottish.
one's Scottish in my family. No, it makes no sense. So my mom started teaching Highland dancing. I think when she was 20 years old. My grandma got her into it. My grandma's not Scottish. She was just obsessed with Scotland for some reason. It's very strange. So I used to go to Scotland every year to perform Highland dancing in Scotland at the Highland Games out there. And I'm pissed. You know what caber tossing is?
No.
Okay, so caber tossing is part of like the Highland Games. They have like men with like, usually men, but women do it too, but like you have to throw a caber and you have to make it flip all the way over.
You
like
gotta tell me what a caber
is. It's like a wood. It's like a big like log of wood. It's like a telephone pole kind of thing.
So it's like a strongman competition.
Yeah, kind of. And I always say that I wish my parents, I was already at the Highland dancing competitions anyways, put me in the fucking, I should have been tossing the log around. I would have killed it.
There was a really weird series. It was like a documentary series on Netflix. I think it was like 6 episodes. I think it was called like We Are Champions or
Yeah. Do you want to know something wild about that? I pitched that idea in Canada in 2012. Someone just sent me I have the exact same pitch for that same fucking show. And I almost sent it to the producer who didn't reply to me to be like, fuck you. I had this fucking show ready to be made fucking 15 years ago. 2012. How long was that?
At least 10 years.
Yeah,
10 years ago.
10 years ago. And no one would fucking reply to me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was called, me and my friend Laura Danowski were going to do where we would go to all these, like the cheese rolling thing. We'd go to all these countries.
That's what I was just thinking about.
Yes, we would go and we wanted to do all these crazy things. 2 city girls go to like the country, do these crazy things. I'm pissed off. I've never seen a show so exact. I'm mad.
So genuinely, the reason I brought it up was because when you were talking about those games, I thought about the cheese rolling when you run after the thing. And I am, Jess, my regularly jokes that my entire body is falling apart. But I really think I'd be good at that.
Yeah, you seem rolling. Like you
I'd go for it real hard. Yeah. But like I am damaged everywhere. So like it's nothing new. Like I literally over quarantine broke cartilage in my left wrist. Like I'm just not.
How? Doing what?
It's a whole long story, but like the natural thing of typing like this was already doing a lot of damage to my wrist. I played guitar for a lot of years, that was just not doing well. And then this is kind of an embarrassing story. The cat that I told you that was sick, her name is Stella. She's how to put it politely, a larger girl. And so sometimes we call it, giving her a ride downstairs. I'll like, instead of making her, because she lumbers down the stairs. She's a bigger gal. So like I will sometimes like pick her up and carry her and bring her down the stairs. I was doing that. There were workers that had been working in our apartment, and they were terrible. We're literally, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on the podcast, we'd like filed a complaint with the the state against this guy.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he was terrible. He left a stair undone. He hadn't secured the stair. I was unaware of that. So I'm carrying this cat. I step. I launch off the stairs, holding this cat. I am going to fall on her. Like, I'm going to break her entire body.
Yeah.
So I literally launch her, because you saw when you first walk in right by the stairs, a lot of people obviously don't know where I live, but as you pass the bedroom, I am falling down. As the bedroom door comes, I transfer her to my left, toss her into the bedroom.
Oh my God.
And just fell right onto my wrist on my left hand. Just fell right on, because it was either that or she was going to die.
Yeah.
And obviously it wasn't going to kill a cat.
No, you're not going to kill a cat.
So I launched her. She actually like sprained her little kitty ankle from the launch, but like there was nothing else I could do. I had to like try and save her. So I tossed her and snapped the cartilage in my wrist.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's a little embarrassing.
How big is she? How big are we talking?
I don't know. Jess hates when I call her a bigger gal. Jess hates it. She's like, "You're fat shaming our cat." I was like, I'm not shaming her. She's a bigger lady. She's a rotund gal. When she walks, her hips sashay like this.
Okay. Does she have like a big gut?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. But I think she's great. She's real sweet. She's real sweet. But that's how I messed up my wrist. But I really do think I'd be good with cheese rolling. Did you, I know you went for the dancing. Were there any other things that you competed in?
I played Australian rules football for a bit.
That's one of my favorite sports in the world. Aussie rules football is the greatest thing ever.
Are you ready for this? You ready for my biggest brag of all time?
Please.
I made the Canadian national team. It's my biggest brag. It's like no one, yes. Okay.
AFL?
I made the Canadian team. Yes. So the Canadian women's team. So when I was 27 years old, I was like really fit. I was running nonstop. I was like training for a half marathon. So I ran like 19 kilometers a fucking week. I don't know what that is in miles. Sorry, I'm Canadian.
I genuinely don't know.
I genuinely don't know. Whatever. So I would run. It's like half a half marathon. I'd be running them like 3 times. I was crazy.
I think it's like 12 miles. That's
it's a lot.
Of miles.
I'd be running a lot a week. Like it was mentally unwell. So I was playing. I was on a team in Toronto, a women's team in Toronto, and we'd play every weekend. And I was like fast as shit.
Aussie rules football is not a very well known sport.
It's pretty big in Canada for some reason. I don't know why. Especially in Toronto, there were 7 women's teams. Oh yeah, we compete every weekend. It was crazy. We had practices twice a week. It was nuts. I was like big club. They were also very supportive people. They'd all come to my shows. It was the best. I'm still friends with some of them.
That's how I knew Aussie rules football.
No, I literally I randomly got into it because I played lacrosse in college and high school. Sorry,
that's also a heavy running sport. Yeah,
I was yes. So I used to be able to do this shit. But yeah, so I auditioned for the team. Didn't get it at first, the first round, and then. Like I got an email like a week after being like, I guess I was like the second tier down, but I don't give a fuck. I had the fastest. So you had to run a 3.5 kilometer. That was part of the training. Fastest in Canada.
What?
I used to be very fit, and it's all gone now.
I know. I cannot believe.
Gone.
Wait. So you made the team.
So I didn't go because I was 27 years old, and it was either go to Australia and pay $2,000 to go myself, because that's how fucking sports work, or I got into my first festival in Canada, the Halifax Comedy Festival.
You were choosing between comedy and Aussie rules football,
and then I obviously did.
How do you not? Do you talk about this all the time?
No.
I would talk about this all the time.
I never talk about this.
I think that Aussie
because no one knows
rules,
what it is.
It's one of the most fun sports to watch.
It's crazy.
It combines like 3 different. It's kind of like soccer. It's kind of like American football, but not really. It's definitely got a rugby component.
Yes.
It's so fun. It's like
so
a nonstop like. The reason I love watching basketball is because basketball moves at a really quick clip. AFL moves faster.
It's insane.
Do you do any like sports leagues here? I am so impressed with this. Do you do any like sports
here's
leagues?
the thing. So because I played lacrosse in high school and then I played after and then whatever, I joined a lacrosse league this year.
Congratulations. No.
No. I played one game.
Oh, no.
I broke 3 ribs. From breathing too hard.
That can't be true.
Yes, it was. I was so out of shape. Because I would break my ribs all the time playing Aussie football all the time. Like nothing you can do. You break ribs, you lie down for 3 weeks. That's it. There's nothing they heal themselves. It's fucking annoying.
Yeah, I fractured 2 ribs. It was a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. It hurt so bad. So I knew the exact pain. I was so bad. All the rules were different. I've never been this embarrassed. I don't think in my life. Like it was all these young 20-year-old girls bopping all over me. I couldn't keep up with anybody. I didn't want the ball to come near me. I couldn't catch it. I was so embarrassed. I'll never play again.
Really?
I'll never play again. I'll never go back.
I am so bad at organized sports. Jess was like, we should join a sports league. I was like, I don't think there's a sports league that I would be able to do.
I want to start a flag football league out here because it's not tackle.
Sure.
You got to get the flag situations off. I'm good at football.
I used to be incredibly fast and agile, but now I think I'm old and
That's the problem. It'll be. I'm gonna have to preface it with like, you need to be in your 30s. I don't want some young fucks coming out here to play. It's an older league.
Yeah.
Because I can't. Because I joined Aussie Rules when I first came out here. I was playing on a team out here I played one game. I'm like, no, I don't have health insurance or whatever I have. It doesn't make any sense.
Kids?
Yeah, they're some of my age, but I was like, I'm not getting hurt out here. In Canada, fine, I can go to the hospital. It's not a big whoop. Out here, I truly don't understand. I don't understand how anyone lives out here. I literally went in for, I had a strep throat like a month ago. Yeah. And I ended up paying $500. I'm like, what? I pay a month once a month. What am I paying? It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it, and I hate it, and I get so angry. I paid to go into the hospital. I'm getting checks, so I'm paying. I don't get it.
What is that? Your least favorite part of the U.S.?
I can't stand it. It's crazy. $500 for a strep throat. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, our healthcare system is completely backwards here.
No, it made no sense. I was like, I don't know what's going on. In Canada, it's free. And then I had like a fucking yeast infection, regular thing women get.
I understand.
Over-the-counter pills in Canada. Simple stuff. It's not an STD. Women get them all the time.
Wait, are they not?
No, they are not. The yeast infection pills, you have to get a fucking prescription. $100 I had to pay to get. I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
Wait. Is that true?
Yes.
Because I know that yeast infections are very, very normal.
They have there's like creams and like little things you can put in over the counter, like on the shelves.
But no, it's usually like, it's like not Z-Pack, but isn't it like you take a few pills and you knock it out?
It's one pill and it goes away, and it cost me $100, and I'm losing my mind over it still. I made my mom buy. They're $18 in Canada. I made my mom buy me like 20, brought them here. I'll just give them to my friends because it's nuts that we have to fucking get a prescription for a fucking yeast infection pill. It's crazy.
You could have a yeast pill racket over here.
I should because it's so crazy.
Some people run drugs. You run yeast infection medication.
I mean, I should.
You should.
It's a common thing. Men can get them too, eh?
I haven't had one, but I'm sure that they can.
They can if you have sex with a girl who has yeast infection, you can get one.
I also know someone told me the other day that men can get. I mean, this is like listeners are like, oh, got to turn this off. But I did hear that men can get UTIs also.
Oh yeah.
I've not had one, but I'm very nervous for that.
Everybody needs to be peeing right after sex. I don't
every time.
understand why people still don't. It's very weird.
Listen, I'll pee all the time. I don't drink enough water, but I do that all the time. I do.
Although you're like, if listeners are turning this off, if anyone's offended by this, don't listen to my podcast. It is called Steph Infection, and it's all about gross shit.
What is the weirdest conversation you had on Steph Infection? We're plugging this podcast right now. What's the weirdest conversation?
Well, the Samantha Mack one was a big one. Oh, I'd say the best one, I guess it was kind of weird. I had a Naked and Afraid contestant on, and she was telling me all about like what the fuck they do. It's crazy. They don't get help from anybody. They're literally out there nude. Like she was telling me how they all got ticks and they had to pick them off each other's assholes because they couldn't see. So they'd all have to like bend over and like open their butts and like pick off each other's because they couldn't get them off.
This is going to be a weird comment. What was the woman's first name?
Stacy.
Not the same person. I was having coffee once and struck up a conversation. Jess always jokes that, she sent me a TikTok video about this. She always jokes that every time that we're out in public, she thinks I'm running for mayor because I will talk to anyone. But we were like, I was sitting in a coffee shop and
could be the next Mayor Max.
Oh boy.
Do you know Mayor Max is?
No.
It's a golden retriever who's the mayor of Idlewild. What's it called? California. Idlewild. Yes.
Love a mayor who's a dog.
It's the funniest thing in the world. It's a golden retriever.
Didn't Toronto have a mayor situation? What was his name?
Rob Ford.
Yeah.
The crack smoking mayor.
Yeah. But I was just going to say, I was sitting in a coffee shop and struck up a conversation with a woman. And long story short, I believe the show she was on was Naked and Afraid. I believe that's correct. And then she ended up like holding a Guinness record of some kind for visiting the most countries.
Wow.
As a woman under a certain age.
Well, that's crazy.
I don't really know, but we talked for a while and we exchanged numbers, not in any sort of romantic way, but just in like a, hey, like, you know, if you ever want to grab coffee or whatever. And I did not get in touch. Well, I know you're coughing. So do you want to move to the lightning round?
We might have to.
Okay.
We might have to.
I'm so sorry. Cue that music and post. I love that sound. It's pretty. Isn't that a nice sound?
That's great.
Yeah, it's a good sound. Okay. 5 questions. I put them on the index card. Makes me feel like a late night talk show host.
I can tell that you like this.
Yeah. Fast questions don't have to be fast answers.
Okay.
Okay. So let's jump right in. What is a favorite ritual of yours? So mine is making tea. What would be a favorite ritual of yours?
Ritual.
Yeah. Do you meditate? Do you make coffee in the morning?
Yeah, I guess I make coffee in the morning. I guess I don't know. And I feel like I don't have a cool one.
Oh, you don't have to have a cool one. Do you before you get on stage? Maybe is there something that you do?
No. Somebody asked me the other day, and I was like, not really. No, I don't like. I can go up right now. I don't need to have like a pep talk before anything. Like
I met a comic who literally was telling me that he almost cries before he gets on stage because he's so nervous. I go, oh, I don't do that at all.
That's wild. Maybe I guess coffee in the morning. I wake up first thing. I make a pot. That's it. I guess
That's a good one.
I feel like it sucks.
No, it doesn't suck. Mine was making tea. Mine's no better than yours. What is a running bit you have with a friend or a partner that makes you laugh?
Oh,
or your sister.
Oh,
if you got
yeah,
one of
yeah.
those.
I was thinking. I'm like, actually, yeah. Okay, I will. Yeah, we have a running bit with my mom because she doesn't know how to get the phone. She doesn't know how to change the photo on the back of her phone.
Sure.
So there's this picture. I don't even know. You can Google it at home. I don't know what it is. If you Google dog man, it's this weird. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, it's this weird thing. It's like a human. It looks like it's a weird sculpture, and it looks like a dog person. And there's like weird little like baby things that kind of sucking. It's like it's really gross. So me and my sister, whenever we get the chance, we put that on the back of my mom's phone, and she gets so pissed off. But it's a really funny bit.
By the way, we've talked about your sister a lot. I didn't catch her name. What is her name?
Jess.
Jess. Oh, amazing.
Jessalyn.
Jessalyn.
Yeah, but
Okay.
she goes by Jess. Yes.
Wonderful. Well,
Yes.
just want to give shout out to
Yeah.
Jess.
Jess. She'll never listen to this.
No,
but
she
yeah.
definitely won't. Can you do an impression of one or both of your parents?
Yes. This is my dad. And we just be regular sitting here right now, just having a conversation. He'll be like, "Oh yeah, just this coffee," and then a sip, and I'll be like, "It's fucking hot. Why is it so hot?" Anyways, I was talking to your grandma the other day. He'll just start screaming for no reason, and then go back to like he wasn't just screaming.
When is he coming to LA? I want to hang out with him.
This man's unhinged. I literally told this to someone the other day, a man I had sex with, and he laughed very hard, but this is real. My dad, he's like, "Oh, sounds like he has anger management problems." We bought my dad an anger management book years ago when I was in high school. I swear to God, he went, "I don't fucking need this," and threw it. He threw the anger management book. I'm like, that's the funniest thing in the world.
I don't think you can have a better thing.
It's
to do
insane.
Than that. What is his name?
Peter.
I love Peter so much. It hurts inside.
And Joy, I'll do an impression of my mom.
Please.
My mom is very annoying. All my friends think I'm really funny too. You're doing stand up, but I could have always done stand up comedy myself. So I'm like, no, you couldn't have. No, you couldn't have. I get so mad. My mom thinks she's funny all the time. It drives me insane.
The only people that could have done stand up in your family are you and Jessalyn.
Yes.
I just love it. Now that I know her name, I'm just
you're
shout her out.
Yeah, you're
I'm
really,
into it now.
really getting into it.
Question 4 of 5, and I swear we're getting you out of here.
Okay.
Have you ever experienced imposter syndrome? And if so, is there a particular moment that strikes you?
Imposter syndrome. When I just got passed, I was feeling crazy.
Really?
I felt like I would show up and see like, Mark Maron and Jeff Ross, all these big names. And I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm like, I shouldn't be here. I got really, the first few sets there, I was like, I don't know what I did to deserve this. And I felt crazy.
I enjoy your stuff more than probably half of the past people at the Comedy Store.
Well,
so
thank you.
Take that as you want.
Yeah. I'm feeling better now because I'm more comfortable, but I was just like, what am I doing here? It's crazy because it took like a bit to sink in.
Yeah, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
at the same time, as I said, I really do find you a joy to watch. And I'm going to get you on a show very soon if you're available. Last question for you. Last question of the entire lightning round and the podcast. Do you have a favorite tea? And if not tea, because you don't drink it a lot, do you have a favorite comfort?
A favorite comfort. You know what I've been doing? This is going to sound crazy. My comfort is watching Law and Order SVU in bed with my dog.
That's flawless.
Yeah.
That's the best
great.
answer in the world.
Yeah.
That was Steep Conversations. How do you feel?
Feel great.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank
We'll
you.
put all of your good stuff in the notes and all this
Great.
stuff and follow you everywhere. I don't know where you
Please.
spend most of your time.
Instagram, please.
Instagram.
Get me on
Okay, you're like,
Instagram.
don't do TikTok. Get out
No,
of there.
I have enough followers on TikTok. No offense. Enough. That sounds so cocky. I have enough about. You got to go on Instagram. Otherwise, you know when I'm performing. You gotta see the shows.
Well, we'll link to that.
There
in the
we go.
notes.
That's that.
Steph Tolev, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
That was Steph Tolev. You can follow her on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Steph Tolev. Go subscribe to her podcast, Steph Infection. We'll be back next week, so until then, happy steeping.